We've covered a few Hello Kitty games on this channel thus far in this Hello Kitty game conquest of mine, and there's never really a surefire way of knowing what you're getting into. Sanrio and Friends Racing was a monstrosity, Roller Rescue was somewhat of a great little gem, and the Flash games? Let's not talk about those. This time I had a strong hankering for a puzzle game, something that could potentially have a little promise and work the old brain muscle. That brings us to Hello Kitty's Cube Frenzy. There are two versions of Cube Frenzy, one for the PlayStation and another on Game Boy Color, both made by different developers, which actually was quite common back then. We're going to be focusing on the PlayStation version, but both versions are practically identical in gameplay. Before we jump straight in, I will give an honorable mention to the Game Boy Color visuals. They look so dang good. It almost looks like when modern games try to replicate that era of aesthetics. I just thought it was worth noting. Anyway, let's get into it. Hello Kitty Cube Frenzy was developed by New Kid Co., a developer known for creating exclusively kids games. They put out the all-time classic hits Tigger's Honey Hunt, Doug's Big Game, and The Adventures of Elmo and Grouchland. I would typically go through and see how well their previous games did, but it is kinda hard to even form a valid opinion on developers like this. Because it's not like they're working to make great gameplay, they're trying their best to help little Timmy spell the word dog efficiently. Although, New Kid Co. did eventually dabble into the generic licensed game craze of the time, putting out games that were generally not great and were created almost certainly to capitalize on iconic characters and licenses. Their biggest claim to fame probably being a 7.9 review from IGN on Muppet Pinball Mayhem. Now let's actually take a peek at the game. You're treated with a very bizarre cutscene once you get past the developer and publisher splash screens. Kitty is soaking up the sun and enjoying her time on a tropical island when Badtz shows up in a blimp thing and starts plastering the island with snow. I have no idea what this cutscene even means or is meant to show. The only thing I can kinda think is it's trying to convey how much of a jerk Badtz is going to be in the game. Once you're out of the cutscene and actually at the menu, you'll quickly realize that everything is ugly. The main menu is ugly and the UI is so jarring and looks slapped on without any thought. The same goes for the end screen after you complete a level. You're shown all your meaningless points and boy is that screen downright horrendously ugly. All the text is uncentered, the spacing is all out of whack, and it's just too hectic in general. Overall, a bad visual experience. The visuals while in-game, on the other hand, are completely serviceable. The sprites, animations, and background flair have no big issues. Every stage has a giant big picture of Kitty slapped onto some 144p image of a real location or a render of a location, which I find kind of funny. The gameplay is where this game shines. The rules of each level are quite simple. You have to collect all the key items and you're done. Getting those items is the challenge. Kitty moves either left or right and can only ascend one block heights. Pressing R1 sends her right and L1 sends her left. Stages are peppered with all sorts of multicolored blocks. To clear these blocks, you have to use the clusters of blocks, akin to tetrominoes from Tetris, that are given to you by the game to match 3 in any direction except for diagonal. The blocks come down from the top of the screen exactly like Tetris, and you have to guide them where you want them to go. It's easy in theory, but it's much harder in practice. Oftentimes you'll have to weave pieces through strange block terrain, and you'll also be constantly having to watch Kitty to make sure she's in the right spot for where you want to place a block. Kitty is always moving, so if you take your eyes off her for too long, she very easily could reach a location that is absolutely miserable to get her out of. Ensuring you're making a path she can follow is the hardest part. A lot of stages will force you to make Kitty ascend in order to reach a key item, and it can be absolute hell. Every block you place has to be done with the intention of making 1 block high stairs for Kitty to climb. Messing that up means you have to painstakingly repair or patch those blocks by matching colors and setting new blocks to climb. It also doesn't help when you're trying to put together some sort of Mod Podge mix of blocks and you continuously keep inadvertently matching blocks together. The game can get quite infuriating for something designed specifically for little kids to be able to complete. The last gameplay element you have to worry about is other characters. Badtz, PandaButt, and Hana-Maru are always roaming about, and Badtz is really the only guy who can be annoying. Whenever you collect a key item, he'll kick a block that is at his height and shift it over 1, and if you drop a block on his head, he'll do the same. PandaButt only ever really does anything when a block is dropped on his head, in which case he'll kick a block just like Badtz. But Hana-Maru actually does nothing at all and just kinda roams around. I don't think I ever had a moment where bats or pandas sabotage affected me. Instead, they'll be a nuisance by blocking your path a lot of times. Kitty will climb on their head when she runs into them, but if there's no space above their head to climb, you'll be locked in place until they get a dang move on and get out of your way. Mix all these obstacles and management in with a time limit, and it makes for a lot of fun and stress when trying to manage a way to get every item in a level. While the gameplay loop certainly is fun, the biggest issue the game has is its lack of innovation. All those gameplay mechanics I described to you are there from stage 1 all the way until the end of the game. No new mechanics are ever introduced. The only innovation you'll see is in the layout of the levels. The core gameplay is a ton of fun. It just had the sad life of existing as a quick license game, so there was never any intention of taking the time and putting together something really special. You can tell the developers were told, hey guys, we got the Hello Kitty license, so we're going to need you to get a puzzle game together and have it done in about 3 months. Luckily, the game is quite short, spanning only 30 levels total, so that lack of anything new doesn't wear too hard on you. It really is a bummer though. I genuinely felt like this game was really dang good and could have been a great single screen puzzler if it didn't get caught up in that early 2000s fad of licensed games being puked out by developers to cash in on recognizable characters and franchises. It certainly is worth a try if you ever have the time and means to play it. You won't be blown away or anything, but it definitely scratches that puzzle itch, and it's unique enough to be fun over the course of its entire duration. If you have any video ideas or just want to yell something at me, please do so in the comments below. I read every one and respond to most. Thanks for watching the video, and hey, if you enjoyed it, a like and subscription help out a ton. Plus, they're free. So long.